Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Maximilian College Basketball Conference Tournament Previews. And for today, we will be going over picks and analysis for the Big Sky Tournament. And before we jump in, go ahead, like, subscribe, and check out the other conference tournament previews up on my channel. But yes, we're going over Big Sky here, aka Starch Madness. And if you're wondering what the heck, why is it called Starch Madness? Well, it takes place in Boise, Idaho. Potatoes, Starch Madness. I'm all for a March Madness pun. In fact, the Missouri Valley takes place in St. Louis, thus Arch Madness was born. And I had that shirt on when I was breaking down the Missouri Valley with Justin. Make sure to go ahead, check that one out. And I was hoping to have I actually ordered a Starch Madness shirt here from the Big Sky. I was hoping to rep it for this preview, but it sadly has not come in yet. I tried to get one last year, but they only sold them in person, and I wasn't about to buy a ticket to go to the Big Sky just to buy a T-shirt and watch some hoops. So, but yeah, they put them online, and immediately, of course, I'm going to buy it. I mean, that's awesome. But anyways, yeah, here we got the Big Sky. It starts on Saturday, March 7th, with those first round games. Nothing crazy there in those games. Idaho should be able to take care of business and beat Sacramento State. And the Idaho State Northern Arizona game is kind of a coin flip. I give the edge to Idaho State, as Northern Arizona has been in terrible form, but the winner of that should lose to one-seeded Portland State anyways. But yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look here at the odds boards next. And the first thing that stood out here on the odds board, 7 of the 10 teams are under 10-1. So this one is going to be wide open, should be a lot of fun to watch. Portland State, the 1 seed, is actually not the favorite. Montana State is the favorite. And there's not a lot of separation, in those top 4 teams, plus 340, plus 400, plus 425, and plus 475. And, the reason why there's not much separation in the market is because their net ratings are not separated by much. These teams are all separated by about 3 points in KenPom on the net rating. So not surprised to see that it's wide open there. And yeah, it should make for a fun Big Sky, but it does kind of get tricky when it comes to, a strategy to bet this conference. So I think the best way to go about it, and, I like usually giving a strategy for each conference tournament. They're all so different. You can't approach them all the same. It depends how many teams have a chance to win. So I think our best chance here is let's try and eliminate some teams, because when I look at the board, I see a bunch of teams that can win it all. Let's do reverse order. Let's, try and cross out some teams that, I don't want to bet. And, since there is so many teams here, we do have to nitpick a little. And the first team that I am going to cross out is actually Weber State at plus 850. Weber, sorry, you draw a tough one here. They get one of the hottest teams in the Big Sky, the Eastern Washington team at the 3 seed. They ended the season so hot, and they finished. They won 8 straight games, and they were shooting 40% from deep in their last 10 games. So this team's been red hot, and it's really not an outlier. This has always been a good shooting team at 39% from deep in the conference. So I did cross out Weber because Eastern Washington's been hot. And even if they do get past Eastern Washington, I really like that Montana State team as well, who's, got the highest net rating in the conference, and they are the favorites to win it. So I had to go ahead and cross out Weber there. That's just too tough of a road between Eastern Washington, super hot team, and then potentially Montana State just to get to the championship. Sorry, Weber, you had to go. And then the next team that I crossed out was Montana at the top there, the 4 seed. They're just a little too one-dimensional for my liking. They do have the best player in the conference, Money Williams. Literally, his name is Money, and he is money. The problem is, outside of him, I don't love this team. They have the highest turnover rate in the conference and the worst offensive rebounding rate in the conference, meaning, on pretty much every game, they're not going to force enough turnovers as they commit, and they're not going to grab enough offensive rebounds as they can grab themselves. And when you lose that possession battle, your margin of error shrinks so much. You've got to, you got to play your best. You got to play perfect. And even that might not be enough. So I went ahead. I did cross off Montana State here as, I just don't like their odds to win 3 straight games with that small margin of victory. And then the next team I actually drew a line through might be a shocker, but it is the 1 seed Portland State. Shot quality, we've expected this team to regress all season. We have them as one of the luckiest teams in the conference. And, we haven't seen it yet until this last stretch to end the regular season. I think we first, we saw signs of the chinks in the armor here and the regression monster maybe coming, because this team, they struggled to close out the conference. They still got the 1 seed despite ending 2-4 in conference play. So I think we are starting to see those signs of regression, and I think it's a good time to get out on Portland State. So I did draw a line through the 1 seed here. And for that reason, after I got to this point, I'm like, okay, I think I have my best bet for this conference. And it is going to be Northern Colorado at plus, what are their odds? Plus 425. I'm taking Northern Colorado for a full unit to win this one. And it has everything to do with, like Montana State, I think they're the second most balanced team. They're good on offense, good on defense. They take care of the ball, and they're one of the best defensive rebounding teams as well. And like Eastern Washington, this team is red hot. Northern Colorado started 1-7 in conference play, and then they went on to win 9 of their last 10 games. This team has just been playing their best basketball at the right time, and that's what I like coming into this tournament. So despite being the 5 seed, this has been one of the best teams in the conference in the last 10 games. And the third reason why I really like this team is because their location in the bracket. Like I said, I don't love Montana, and I don't love Portland State. And even, the Idaho State, Northern Arizona, those 2 teams are much worse than Idaho will probably come out of the first round in the bottom. And, I wouldn't be surprised if Idaho beats Montana State. So I think it just creates a great opportunity here in the top region of the bracket. I think it's much, much weaker. So I went a full unit here on Northern Colorado because I think they have the best chance to make the championship, and then I can work out of the ticket from there. Because at the bottom, I it's nothing against Montana State. I think Montana State has a legit chance to win this, and that's why they're the favorite. They are the best team, but the problem is I like Idaho. I like Eastern Washington. They've been just as hot as Northern Colorado. So the bottom gets tough. I don't know who's going to come out of the bottom. But I do feel like I have a good read at the top. So just to recap here, full unit on Northern Colorado plus 425. Just hoping that they can make the final, and then I can work out of the ticket from there. And that will do it for today's conference preview. Thanks so much for watching, and go ahead and check out the other conference tournament previews up on my channel. Thanks for watching, and best of luck.